Omaha is heating up, and not just from the Nebraska sun. The 75th NCAA College World Series kicks off June 13th at Charles Schwab Field, and 8 teams are marching in with one mission: win it all. The stakes: legacy, draft stock, and immortality. Arkansas and LSU headline the field, sitting as co-favorites with odds of plus 200 and plus 230. Both powerhouses, both hungry, both built for Omaha. But don't sleep on the wild cards. Murray State is crashing the party for the first time ever. Long shots with plus 5,000 odds and nothing to lose. Coastal Carolina? They're on a 23-game win streak and steamrolling everyone in sight. So who's got the depth, grit, and championship DNA to survive this gauntlet? Let's break it down. Now, before we get into who's hot and who's not, let me break this down real quick, just so we're all on the same page. The College World Series runs on a 2-bracket setup. 8 teams get split into 2 groups of 4. Each group plays double elimination, which basically means you can lose once and still stay alive, but lose twice and you're packing your bags. The winners of both brackets face off in a best-of-3 final between June 21st and 23rd. Now here's a fun fact. Not a single team from last year's CWS made it back this year. That hasn't happened since 1999. Total shakeup. This year's lineup? EC brings Arkansas and LSU. From the Pac-12 turned Big 12, we've got Arizona, UCLA, and Oregon State. Coastal Carolina, Louisville, and underdog Murray State round it out. Alright, let's talk about the squad that's sitting pretty at the top of the bracket. The Arkansas Razorbacks. They're coming in hot as co-favorites at plus 200, and they're the highest remaining seed in Omaha. This team isn't just talented, they're complete. On offense, they're ranked 5th in WRC+, with 7 SEC starters hitting well above average. On the mound, they lead the field in XFIP, which basically means their pitchers are dealing. Zach Root, their ace, just outdueled Tennessee's Marcus Phillips in the Supers, and the bullpen behind him? Rock solid. Everyone's throwing heat and no one's blinking. Head coach Dave Van Horn is making his 8th trip to Omaha, still chasing that elusive title. If there's ever been a squad to get him over the hump, it's this one. But first, they open against LSU on June 14th. History says you don't want to lose your first game here. So yeah, this one's personal. Right behind them, the LSU Tigers, defending champs, and they're not coming quietly. They've got plus 230 odds, a trophy case with 7 national titles, and maybe the most terrifying lineup in the tournament. This squad is batting 300 as a team, already hit 100 plus home runs, and they've dropped 61 runs in 6 postseason games. Yeah, let that sink in. Jared Jones is a walking highlight reel, batting .328 with 20 bombs and 70 RBIs. And when it comes to arms, they've got a lethal 1-2 punch. Anthony Ianson and Cade Anderson, both striking out hitters like it's light work. What makes LSU scary is they can win any kind of game. You want a slugfest? Cool. Pitchers duel? Even better. Coach Jay Johnson already brought home the 2023 title, and he knows how to push the right buttons in pressure moments. And now, they're opening against Arkansas. No warm-up, no easing in. One of these 2 giants is catching fire early. Coastal Carolina isn't just here for the vibes, they're on a mission too. At plus 600 odds, they're riding a 23-game win streak and haven't dropped a single contest in this postseason. That's not luck, that's momentum, and it's terrifying. Their pitching is legit. We're talking top 10 team ERA nationwide, and they racked up double-digit strikeouts in both super regional games. No weak links on the mound, everyone's dealing, and hitters are pressing. On offense, Caden Bodine is a problem, a switch hitter who makes pitchers sweat from both sides of the plate. Then there's Jacob Morrison, a right-hander who throws darts and doesn't rattle under pressure. And don't forget, they've been here before. 2016 national champs. They know what it takes to win in Omaha, and that experience counts. They may not be in the spotlight like Arkansas or LSU, but with their streak metrics and swagger, Coastal isn't just a sleeper. They're a storm coming fast. Now, if there's one team that never blinks on the big stage, it's Oregon State. At plus 650, they've flown slightly under the radar, but that's a mistake. This is a program with pedigree, 3 national titles, 2006, 2007, 2018, and they're built for Omaha. This year's squad is 47-14-1, and they're one of the most balanced teams in the bracket. The offense can manufacture runs when it matters, and the pitching staff doesn't make many mistakes. They may not be flashy, but they're efficient and clutch. One name to watch, Iva Arquette, their shortstop and a top 10 MLB draft prospect. The kid's got hands like Velcro and a bat that changes games. Also worth noting, they're on the opposite side of the bracket from Arkansas and LSU. That gives them a real shot at reaching the finals without running the SEC gauntlet early. Bottom line, don't sleep on the Beavers. They're quiet killers, and they've done this dance before. Alright, now we've talked about the big dogs. Arkansas, LSU, Coastal, Oregon State. But what about the rest? The teams that aren't necessarily front and center on the odds makers' boards, but could still flip this whole tournament on its head. Let's start with UCLA. They've got that late-blooming energy. Don't forget, this is a team that found its rhythm down the stretch and slammed through the Super Regionals. What's powering them? Defense. Serious defense. And it starts with Roch Chalowski. This guy's not just slick with the glove, he's a straight-up two-way menace. He's batting over 370 with more than 20 bombs and elite-level fielding range. Add to that some of the best defensive metrics in the tournament, and suddenly you've got a squad that doesn't give away runs. They're sitting around plus 800 in the odds, which isn't exactly long shot territory, but they're definitely not getting the same love as the SEC teams. Then there's Arizona. They've been clutch all year, but what really makes them scary is Tony Pluta. If Arizona has a lead in the 8th, it's basically game over. The guy's a machine, 1.2 ERA, perfect save record, and nerves of ice. He was already on Team USA's radar before the postseason, and now everyone's paying attention. And remember, they just got past UNC in a wild super regional that felt like a 2016 rematch with higher stakes. Arizona knows how to survive chaos, and sometimes that's all you need in Omaha. Now Louisville's sitting just below that tier, and their style is a little different. More high risk, high reward. They love to run, love to hit early, and they've got an arm in Patrick Forbes, who could be the tournament's dark horse MVP. He's been lights out lately. 13 Ks in one game, then turned around and shut down a top-seeded offense the next week. He's got that starter who pitches like a closer vibe. If he holds up and their bats get hot early, Louisville could absolutely punch above their seeding. And then there's the wild card, Murray State. Yeah, you heard that right. First ever appearance at the College World Series, plus 5,000 odds, and they're playing like a team with absolutely nothing to lose. Their offense caught fire in the Supers, and their bullpen, while not elite, managed to shut down some very real hitters. The question is, can they handle the pressure in Omaha? If their bats keep swinging and the bracket breaks their way, this Cinderella story might just keep dancing. Alright, here's where I lay it out straight. Arkansas looks like the team to beat. They've got that perfect statistical mix, slashing offense, deep pitching, and that veteran savvy under Dave Van Horn. But there's a catch. They've got to beat LSU right out of the gate, and history says first-game losers only come back to win twice. If they dodge that landmine, Arkansas has the goods to run through this thing. That said, LSU isn't just knocking on the door. They could knock it down. Their mash and spin combo of power and elite arms makes them a co-favorite for a reason. Don't sleep on the dark horses, though. Coastal Carolina is carrying a 23-game win streak into Omaha. If emotion hits them just right, they've got the firepower and the experience to take a real swing at the title. Oregon State belongs in the mix too. Veteran squad, balanced formula, and a bracket path that could let them avoid the early bloodbath. So here it is, my hot take. Arkansas all day, but if I had a wildcard bet, I'm sliding my chips toward Coastal Carolina. That streak is no fluke. Now it's your turn. Who are you backing to raise the trophy? Are you drawn to Arkansas's big data balance? LSU's brute force, Coastal's momentum, or Oregon State's veteran polish? Drop your pick in the comments. Don't hold back. And if you've got a sleeper team, someone flying under the radar, tell me why they'll shock the world. And hey, if you love our breakdowns on draft prospects, and highlight-packed Omaha spoilers, hit subscribe and ring that bell. And see you in the next video.